Joe is sideways. Oh, there he is.
There you go. All right.
Why take the tree down, Joe? What's the point?
It's always like the week after Christmas, take the tree down.
Yeah, but why? Why not just leave it up?
I couldn't tell you.
Have
But that's what I did.
Valentine's Day tree.
Nah. You can't even do a Valentine's tree.
Why not?
Valentine's looks like flowers, not a tree.
Isn't a tree like a really big flower, though? See? You could just put little hearts on it.
No. No. Flower is not like a tree. Technically a tree.
I think he might be onto something of just leaving the decorations up. Yeah, see, I know what I'm talking about. And Joe, you could use your Valentine's Day tree to get yourself on one of those weird dating shows, and you could find true love.
I think I might be crazy if I keep it up that long.
The Bachelor, Illyria edition.
Yeah. I'll be on one of the weird editions. Yeah, that'd probably be.
Man, this time you're a catch.
Oh, I can say,
You're employed. You ain't got no felonies, no ankle bracelets.
Yeah, no, and I'll probably say, yeah, I got a cat. That's what the tree's for, so the cat can play on it. And then watch me get eliminated because, I don't like cats. I'm allergic to cats. I'm like, okay, bye.
Wait, you have a cat?
I don't got a cat. I can say I got a cat.
Get a cat.
My tree's still alive. I can't get a cat. She's allergic. Yeah, we found out she's allergic to cats.
Why can't you get a cat?
Oh, she's allergic to cats. Maybe she's allergic to cats. So
yeah, your sister's allergic to cats too. We got a cat.
I don't know what it is. Went to my one friend's house. She was touching the cat. Nothing happened. Then later on, her some kids were playing around. She started breaking out, and they asked, "Was she allergic to cats?" I'm like, "No, I don't know." Then
yeah, man, cat allergies are no joke. It messes your sister up.
Yeah, then they had cat had fur on the floor or whatever, and they said that's what could cause it. I'm like, okay, so we left. They gave her some Benadryl, but then I said, I don't want to take the risk. Sorry, y'all. Bye.
Yeah, don't play around with allergies. This cord for this camera is like everything's a problem for me right now, Joe. I'm not prepared. Oh.
I thought you were prepared by now.
Oh man, Mom's giving me grief because I'm late. Anyway, we didn't have a Wednesday shows. We had to have a Sunday show.
Yeah,
had to make this happen.
Yeah.
Man, a weird week of pro wrestling.
I know. It is.
Really weird week for pro wrestling because everything was just kind of building up to Raw on Netflix, right?
Tomorrow. Yes.
Yeah, that's tomorrow. I feel like AEW has been like on this good run. It's like today's episode of Weekend Wrestling is gonna be a little all over the place.
I just got one question though.
Okay, you hit me with your question, and then I have a few random statements and a question.
I got two random questions.
Okay.
One. Why is it when anyone starts a feud with Swerve, they slice him up, make him bleed?
I think for some reason Swerve likes getting cut.
He gets sliced up. He's like,
so yeah, I think that's a Swerve thing. I think he likes to get cut up and sliced up, and I think that's his whole deal. I mean, it makes a great visual.
Yeah, it does.
But everyone check us out live on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, where you guys are at. What do you think about Ricochet's immaculate heel turn in AEW? I mean, this is like one of the. I really. I feel like people were discrediting it at first because of how he was treated by MVP in that one promo. But then you turn around and he literally took the fans turning on him online to do a heel turn where I think this may be a break. This is going to sound so strange for a guy who's been around for so long and has really cemented himself in professional wrestling and Ricochet. This might be Ricochet's breakout year in 2025 because heel Ricochet, it works.
Look at it this way. It took the majority of people over 15 years to find their true character.
I mean, yeah.
And if it took him that long to realize that all he has to do is be a heel, but just say less words, then he'd be great.
Yeah. Well, the heel turn started with the podcast he did where he said he felt as though without him there is no AEW. And the funny thing is fans turned on him and started dragging him, but he's kind of right. He's kind of right with his style, like the Ricochet style, the Will Ospreay style.
Okay.
Is
I get your point.
Kind of the Young Buck style. It's that video game character style.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's no Ricochet doing that, there's no measuring stick to chase. Like Ricochet and Reggie are like two of the top tier. Like they're gonna do some crazy shit, like some video game shit, and then you throw Will Ospreay in. Will Ospreay has some really like solid pro wrestling there too, and so does Ricochet. Yeah. But these guys who are doing the ultra video game wrestling style, where everything's flippy dippy, it's crazy movements. It's I would throw Leo Rush in there a little bit because no one moves inside of a ring like Leo Rush does.
He's fast, wants to short himself.
But man, Ricochet kind of had a point, and the fans drug him for it. Hmm? I don't know if that podcast interview was a strategic play in the character development of Ricochet and AEW. If it was, that's genius. And if it wasn't, and he saw the opportunity to capitalize on it and turn heel, that's also genius. Mm-hmm. They throw toilet paper at him.
I thought that's what I had on. I thought because the toilet paper, he turned heel with the toilet
paper at him, Joe.
That was funny, though. I ain't gonna lie. That was funny.
And he utilized it. He took it, wiped his sweat off with it. Like, he really played it up. Mm-hmm. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
That
was funny.
What's your other question?
Other question. Oh, shit. The other one was I lost it. It'll come back to me later.
It'll come back to you.
Yeah.
So generally we end the Sunday show talking about our wrestlers of the week and our matches of the week. 2-hour show of the week is done because there's no Raw can be as long as Raw wants to be. SmackDown is 3 hours. Dynamite's still 2 hours. There is no more Rampage. Collision's still 2 hours.
It's still 2 hours, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of hard to look at things and talk about like wrestler of the week, show of the week, like because I feel like things were a little confusing this week. If I look at like our main two, I think probably SmackDown stood up.
Say this.
Well, for a 3-hour show, SmackDown was better than I expected it to be as a 3-hour show.
Say this. I watched it live Friday night. Then we got to about that little 9:30 mark. Well, what was it? Sammy and Carmelo was doing that little backstage talk. And then that's when the Usos came out and said, "You got a problem?" Then they said, "No, no problem." He said, "No problem, no problem." Then you heard Sammy say, "All right, guys, we got a match coming up. I gotta go put my gear on." I'm looking at the time. I'm like, 9:30. It was around 9:30. I'm thinking like, wait, they got that, and then they just promote the women match. They're gonna do that in 20 minutes. That don't make no sense. Didn't make no.
Right?
Then that's when the commentary went on to say, "Yes, SmackDown is on for 3 hours tonight." Like, oh. Then when that 10 o'clock hit, I like the 10 o'clock because they did the recap on the side of what you missed. That was good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like they were listening to us, right? Our ratings partner, Rate My Wrestling on Instagram, so they gave Raw an overall 86.
Good.
And SmackDown was given an overall 81. And I think both of those shows were closer to the 80 mark. I don't know if Raw should have, in my opinion, I'm not saying their opinion's wrong. We all have our opinions. But I think what really solidified Raw was that ending promo of Seth and Paul. The rest of the show wasn't really top shelf. SmackDown impressed me by being a good 3-hour show that wasn't hard to watch. However, I didn't watch SmackDown live. I watched the replay Saturday morning, and what I watched wasn't 3 hours. What I watched was like 2 hours and 14 minutes because I had no pictures. And there were parts of the show I fast-forwarded through. AEW, on the other hand, AEW has been real steady consistently for weeks. Just really, Dynamite's been bringing it home. Collision's been good, and this week, I'm in total agreement with our ratings partner. Well, not total. I do think they gave Dynamite a 58. I think Dynamite was better than 58. I thought Dynamite was all right. I will say it wasn't the best Dynamite in forever, but it was just trying to kind of put some pieces of the puzzle back together after a pay-per-view. And bringing Cope back, bringing Edge back, all good stuff. It was Fight for the Fallen. This show is about charity. It's not really about the show so much.
I can say this though.
Yeah.
I thought they was having technical issues when they said rated R. Cope. Because
I'm not calling him Cope, man. I'm sorry. I am not calling him Cope.
I'm just saying, I thought they had technical issues because normally when they get to that last 40, 35 minutes, they get technical issues.
You thought mics were cutting out?
Yeah.
Look, I'm calling no grown man by an abbreviated version of his last name that he decided other people should call it. I don't really care about the situation. Like, if the fans gave him that nickname, okay. But the fact that he decided we were going to call him an abbreviation of his last name, whenever we've known him as Edge forever, and we're just trying to get used to calling him Adam Copeland, his real name, and now you want to shorten up your last name. It's not like that shit's hard to say. If it was some kind of really difficult Polish last name that's every letter of the alphabet shaken up real hard with a ski at the end, and you want to shorten that shit up, okay. It's Copeland. You ain't got to shorten up Copeland. Like, if you're going to shorten up Copeland, grow a pair, call yourself Cop. Go COP. Find some way that COP becomes an abbreviation for something that makes you sound tough. You can't just be Cope. Yeah, we got the comments coming in. Cope is not dope. Nah, man. First of all, everyone who's been a fan of this show for years now, y'all know. I have never been an Edge fan. I've never. I don't know what it is. He's never been my guy. I was kind of warming up to Adam Copeland a little bit.
Yeah.
But now you're gonna come in and want me to call you Cope? I'm going back to calling your ass Edge. I might even call you the Edge. I'm not calling you Cope. I don't know.
Try to be like little.
I
I'll just be
don't
realistic.
put that on a T-shirt. Like Cope is not dope. That's the next T-shirt right there. That's somebody needs to rock that at Dynamite. I don't know who, but somebody needs to do that shit.
I think Jericho can get trademarked and get paid for that.
You think? You think I should throw it on the merch table?
Hey, Jericho, hey, a little bit of bubbly. He got paid for that. He might get paid for coke.
He did. I can't trademark it.
I'm saying somebody should, but
No, you got it in the comments.
but that'd be great.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I thought Dynamite was all right. Our ratings partner gave it a 58. I would have given it somewhere in the 60s, maybe even 70.
It could have been a little bit better, but I would say 60 would be great. 60.
Yeah, I guess, man. They gave Collision a 41. I haven't even watched Collision yet this week. So I got to just go with what our ratings partner has said. Rate My Wrestling on Instagram. Okay. They gave Collision a 41. I'm going to believe
it. I can say this. Collision, it was a little bit. It wasn't that. This Collision wasn't that great. It wasn't that great, but it had good matches though. It was good.
It wasn't meant to be that great because all the focus, rightfully so, was with Wrestle Dynasty. We had Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty this weekend. So a lot of your key AEW talent was doing Wrestle Dynasty in Japan.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched all of Wrestle Dynasty yet. But what I have seen, holy shit.
I can say this. I'm going to feel bad for some of them AEW New Japan guys. I'm going to feel bad for them.
Why?
Did you see that little promo about with the Young Bucks, how they got the belt? And they was like...
I know they won the tag titles in New Japan.
Yeah.
I've seen highlights of the match. I haven't watched the full match yet. I did not see a promo.
Oh, well, okay. Well, at the end, they got the belts, and they was holding the belts up, and they said, "You see this? It's been 6 years. They both was holding the belt. It's been 6 long years we held these titles. 6 years." And then I started thinking about it. As I heard that earlier today, it's almost as if they're going to make a mockery of like somebody else who's been gone for like 10 years. And when they win that little belt, they might do the same thing. So we got like these little, not saying it's going to be the same thing, but almost if somebody went back home and got the title that they won, that they made a name for themselves in.
It's weird to me that they went to New Japan and won those belts, right?
Yeah.
They've been going from AEW.
Yeah.
And they went to New Japan, they've won the tag titles, so apparently they're going to be back to defend those tag titles.
Yeah. And then, as I'm thinking, it looked like all the, how can I say this in a good way? All the National 8 in New Japan stars that came to AEW, it seemed like they're going back to New Japan to make the name for themselves again and just have AEW whenever on the side.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know, man. I feel like that Wrestle Dynasty show was like really good. And
I saw highlights. It
necessarily so.
I saw the highlights. It wasn't that bad. I saw the highlights.
Man, let's just. I want to get this out of the way. Match of the week for me is Kenny Omega and Gabe Kidd. We are on the 5th day of January. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to assume this is going to be match of the month for me.
Oh, damn. You going all right?
It's the 5th day of January, and we may have just had match of the year.
Oh, you're kind of like, okay, I ain't watch it. I can't say nothing, but I think you kind of like going a little bit ahead of yourself. We got 360 days left.
I'm saying maybe. and I'm willing to throw an asterisk there that with it being Kenny's first match back. Now, a couple months ago, I called into question of what we were going to get whenever Kenny Omega came back. I actually think I've called it into question several times. So it's not going to be, he's not going to be Kenny, right? Like, I know I said it. I said we're not going to get the best bout machine. I said the feud with Okada, maybe they shouldn't do it because it's not going to be Wrestle Kingdom 2017. They're not going to do that. Kenny's not going to be able to be that guy. I said all those things. I think I'm wrong. What Kenny Omega showed me against Gabe Kidd is that Kenny Omega's the GOAT for a damn reason. And with that, what does that mean in AEW?
Like I said,
I recently posted on our Instagram about the 4 pillars. Broke down where I think they stand and how I think that, clearly Darby and MJF broke away from the pack. I don't think the 4 pillars of AEW really matter as much as those solidified guys. The 4 pillars can bring up the mid-card, but what do you do with Kenny Omega in 2025 in AEW? He's going to come back. He's going to feud with Okada, right?
Yeah.
But what after that? Because Kenny Omega can make that title like Okada has matter. But do you waste Kenny Omega on just making a mid-card title matter? Especially when you have Kenny Omega back at 100%. Because I didn't think you were going to get Kenny Omega back at 100%. I thought we were going to be lucky to see Kenny Omega back at 65 to 70%. And what I seen from Kenny Omega versus Gabe Kidd for 33 minutes at the Tokyo Dome this morning, I think we have the best bout machine back.
Well, he hasn't wrestled in over a year and some months. Yeah. I mean, at that point, he probably did a lot of therapy, got all them bones and muscles up to date.
And AEW is a whole new place. AEW is a whole new place since Kenny Omega was last there. Not just Okada as the Continental Champion. You have what the Mox World Order is doing. You have Edge there. We've never seen Kenny Omega versus Edge. It's never happened.
Mm-hmm.
Ricochet is now in AEW. We've never seen Kenny Omega and Bobby Lashley come anywhere near one another. The landscape of AEW is very, very different. And now you have the bout machine back.
I'm just going to say this. Those are good matches. They could happen, but I don't think they will. I think Kenny is going to just show up in AEW and take his main focus back to New Japan.
Really? Do you think Kenny Omega becomes a special attraction in AEW and not a full-time AEW?
I say, not saying he on this level, but I would just say he'd be like the John Cena, just show up on the 4 major pay-per-views and fight somebody.
Really?
That'd be about it.
Is that how you would do it, or is that what you think is going to happen?
That is what both. We'll say both. That's how I do it. Both. He'll be only appearance at whatever, or All In, definitely All In, All Out, and did whatever the main pay-per-view May and June. What's that one? Shit. There's always one in June.
Dude, I don't remember the order of their pay-per-views.
Yeah.
I feel like they're doing them out of order anyway.
Yeah, but I would just say
do you put him in the world title picture? Mm-hmm. Do you have Kenny Omega go after Jon Moxley?
Nah.
Really?
Nah. I mean, he could, because he could say he did start this company and the belt should be around him, but If you think about it, he don't really need the belt. He
I mean, he's Kenny Omega. He doesn't need the belt.
He don't need the belt. Just like John Cena.
Do you involve him against the Death Riders at all? I mean, if someone should be a savior of AEW, an EVP could probably be the guy, right?
It all depends. If he has the belt towards spring. It look like they're trying to go forward to Okada more than him going after the title, the main title. So I would say spring/summertime, you will see that. And if the Death Rider's still around by then, but yeah, spring.
Ooh, if the Death Riders are still around, you're giving this a short shelf life.
I'm just saying.
One thing I found interesting was that Christopher Daniels made it a point to say that he's no longer an EVP, but Kenny Omega is.
That's right.
What
yeah.
What if Kenny doesn't even wrestle in AEW? What if he's just an authority figure on Dynamite? Instead of a general manager, what if he just plays EVP and he's stepping in, making rules? What if he doesn't even wrestle? Again, it's not what I would do, but what if they did it? I'll tell you what I would do. You ready for what I would do?
Let's hear the I would do. The I would do moment. There you go.
Somebody give me that pencil. Boom, I got that pencil.
All right.
I would have all the new faces of AEW start coming after the cleaner. I would have everyone having Kenny Omega on their hit list. That he doesn't even have time to worry about Mox and the Mox World Order because, he had Gabe Kidd calling him out in New Japan. When he shows up in AEW, when he comes back on Dynamite this Wednesday, you have a line of people ready to call out the cleaner. One key person you have is Hangman Adam Page. You've already pulled a little bit away from Mox now, so why not have him? What, Kenny? You ain't you. You've been gone.
I gotta ruin your bubble real fast. You didn't watch Collision last night, so as of right now, it's gonna be a feud between Hangman and Christopher Daniels.
Yeah. Kenny can step in because Christopher Daniels was the EVP. Now he's not. But I would have everybody knocking on Kenny's door, and I would have Kenny Omega smash everybody. And then I would have Kenny Omega slowly going back to being the belt collector. And I would have Kenny Omega carrying every title on the planet. Let him be IWGP Heavyweight Champ, AEW World Champ. Let's repartner up with TNA. Let Kenny get that belt again.
Yeah, he did that already. That kind of was
Let's do it again. He did it during the pandemic. Nobody got to see it. Let's do it now. Let Kenny Omega collect belts all over the globe now.
But you know what? I don't think he's gonna do it this time. It would be a great idea. It'd be a great idea. You only got one more
opportunity. You only got one more chance for Kenny Omega to be the belt collector.
I know, but you gotta think about his body and his health.
You ain't got another man walking God's green earth who could be a belt collector other than Kenny Omega. Who else can do it? The fans didn't get to experience belt collector Kenny Omega.
Right. Nah, I see it, but I'm just saying, Kenny, his body, you gotta think about his body and his well-being. He probably gonna do like
great, Joe.
He looked great. Okay. I have to find it on YouTube tonight. Yeah.
You look great, man. Our ratings partner gave Wrestle Kingdom an overall rating of 79.
Oh.
So it did not rate as high with our ratings partner Rate My Wrestling as the WWE shows did. I'm in disagreement there. I think it was infinitely better than Raw or SmackDown because it's more my in-ring style of professional wrestling. I will say, I thought the South Punk promo was really good. I thought the Drew Cody stuff to open up SmackDown was real good, which leads me to this question. Are we getting an anti-Cody faction? Are we going to get Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, and Seth Rollins in a group together?
No.
You got 3 lone wolves with 2 common enemies.
Mm-hmm. You got, I would say this, Drew. Drew is now the official, I'm solo. I'm doing this on my own. I don't need no group. Seth, he been in groups. He know how the outcome already is, so he don't want to take the risk anymore. Cody, he just knows he'll be the main target, even in the group.
I think you put Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, and Seth Rollins together. You have them be the anti-Roman, anti-Cody groups. Have them go after the Kings.
Have this KO. You know KO. He can't laugh with no partner for a very long time.
Nope, you can't. You have a perfect powder keg of a group that you know is going to implode upon itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Biscuit, the Slap Happy Hippie. Join us live on Instagram.
Hey.
Sure you check out Slap Fight Championships. See Biscuit slapping the taste out of somebody's mouth. I think that group has to exist. And my question for you, and my question for all of our listeners, if you do put Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, and Seth Rollins together in a pro wrestling faction, what do you call it? Name that faction.
Drew, Seth, and KO. I'm going to flow.
Here's the comedy portion of the show, everybody.
Thanks, I'm a hanger.
You just check us out on the audio. You were missing Joe wearing fluffy earmuffs.
All right, girl. Let's see. A good name for them 3 would be. DKS.
You just gotta take the initials?
DKS.
I can't think of a name for them. Biscuit said call them the earmuff faction. I think that works. Me being the old school ECW guy, I want to call them the Triple Threat just because there's just 3 of them. And you're not going to add more to the damn group. Bring back Triple Threat, right?
Yeah.
Now you're stupid toilet.
I'm stupid toilet.
Right. I don't know, man. I feel like you got to make those guys be a group.
I don't think they're going to be a group. I think
they have a common goal.
They got
the mission goal. Statement's already written.
Mm-hmm.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
And the good old mission statement would be:
you have to stop Roman. You can never let him regain power. And Cody's a liar. Kevin Owens is right. He's right.
Yeah, he's right.
They're all right to hate Cody Rhodes. They're right.
Thank you. That's pollen. That's pollen.
This ain't pollen, girl. It's cotton. Come on.
What?
You'll know if it's pollen. I'll be sneezing the crate like now, girl. This ain't pollen, so go.
Raw debuts on Netflix tomorrow night, Joe.
Oh,
Tomorrow we will go hard in the paint on it. We'll break down everything. We'll talk about all the rumors and all that.
you hear about the big rumor?
That The Rock is going to be there?
No, about the whole Netflix. There's another added onto it today.
No, what?
So apparently, after Raw tonight or tomorrow night, you can't rewatch it for another 48 hours or download it.
The replay is a 2-day delay?
As of right now, that's what I heard.
That's dumb.
As of right now, it's a rumor. I ain't say it's true or not, but I seen it posted on one of the wrestling groups I'm in, and it sounds like it's legit, y'all. It's up for 48 hours.
Well, let me tell you this much. Everybody out there listening to us or watching us, if you're watching the video version, one thing to always remember is that when large billion-dollar corporations decide to put obstacles in your way for you to enjoy their content, sometimes you got to throw on your eye patch. And you just got to hoist a black flag and you just got to pirate that shit. I'm not condoning it. I'm not telling you how to do it. I will tell you this much. Cody Rhodes is my favorite wrestler. Gotta love Cody. Sometimes you gotta spell it with a K. Picking up what I'm laying down. That's stupid. That is stupid to put it on Netflix and make us wait 48 hours for the replay.
Yes. Just throwing it out there, just in case you wanna, if you do decide to watch it, and then you take you about 8:00, 9:30, pass out.
You think I'm gonna stay awake till 9:30? That's cute. That's all right. I don't need Netflix to be on board for me to get my replays, people. Believe it, I'm gonna leave that right there. That's a bad thing to do for your fans, but your fans will find a way. So, speaking of streaming, Biscuit is asking if the Conor McGregor Logan Paul thing has been confirmed officially. I have gotten nothing. Did you get it official?
I heard they ain't got a date, but it's official.
All right. So what I heard is they both had the last information I got that I felt was reliable was that they had both been presented with contracts. Mm-hmm. They had both been presented with dollar amounts without a date. I would imagine this happened in Saudi Arabia. I think that is where the offer came. I would imagine that they do it. I don't see a reason for them not to. I don't want to go too far into this and say things I shouldn't say. But one of these parties needs to. And the party that needs to, I think, is making a mistake.
Oh, on Netflix. I don't know about that.
I think the Paul brothers are very underestimated strikers. And I think there is a definitive size difference.
Right.
They do it. I think one party probably shouldn't be doing combat sports anymore. And the other party is going to be at WrestleMania. So, I think, screw it. I'll come out and say I don't think Conor McGregor should be fighting.
Oh damn!
There, I'll come out and say it. People are asking. I see it popping up. Why won't you say it? I don't see. I don't see Conor McGregor being on the level of Logan Paul. I'm not saying Logan Paul is an elite level boxer. I'm not saying that. I'm saying Conor McGregor is not the Conor McGregor who we've seen box Floyd Mayweather. A lot's happened in life. I think that uh, I think that Conor is not in the mindset of being a competitive fighter any longer. He's got too many other things distracting him, too many things pulling his attention away, and I don't believe he has a reason to be hungry.
He's a businessman. He know how to make money.
I think he needs to make money. I think he needs to look to rebuild the name and the brand of Conor McGregor. And I think it'll be hugely beneficial for Logan Paul if he stops Conor McGregor in a boxing match. There's no other reason for Logan Paul to do it. That's important for me to put out there. Like, the only reason why Logan Paul would do this is if Logan Paul is convinced he can knock out Conor McGregor. Because Logan Paul doesn't need the money. Logan Paul is not – he does have that the crypto thing still looming over him, but that's not a lot of money to bother him. Conor has a lot more issues to try and generate some revenue and try and do some fixes to his image. This isn't going to fix his image. That's important. But I think I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I don't know if I'll care enough to watch that live. I guess I probably should if it happens. And that's a big if, because every time someone's told me Conor McGregor's fighting, I've always told them, no, he's not. Nope. Happened this past summer. Yeah, everybody's sending me the flyers. Oh, Conor's fighting in June. I said, no, he's not. He is not fighting in June.
I think he's going. I don't know when, but it could probably next year that fight go off.
If the deal gets done for him to fight Logan Paul, he'll probably do that fight to make sure he collects that paycheck. I don't believe Conor McGregor ever fights in the UFC again. I think he could fight in the BKFC, maybe. But I'm not sure he wants to in the UFC. He has 2 fights left in his contract.
I knew one of them.
I think I just don't think he ever does that again. I could be wrong. I mean, hey, John Jones-Stipe eventually did happen, and I said that fight was never going to happen.
It did.
It took a long time. It took a long time to get there, but it did get there.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it'd be interesting to see. I hope Logan Paul can get that payday.
Yes. You know what? He's going to get the payday.
Biscuit agrees with me. BKFC, because he's a part owner. I don't know who he would fight. I don't know who Conor would fight in there. Man, he might. I don't think he would do dirty boxing. Biscuits in the comments talking about dirty boxing, and Mike Perry started his own promotion, and it's dirty boxing. It's kind of they're using different gloves, so it's not a 4-ounce MMA glove. I believe it's a 6-ounce, it's kind of like a grappling kind of training glove, or kind of very similar to what amateur MMA uses in a lot of the country. It's a bit of a thicker padding, but it comes out, it's a little more rounded around your knuckles. So there's more padding there, and there's striking on the ground, but there's not really grappling. So if you get your opponent down, you can stand over them and kind of ground and pound, but you got to be standing. It's interesting. It's an interesting concept. They've done an inaugural event, kind of some very one-sided matchups that they've done. Our friend Dwayne Crespa, who's done Power Slap, he fought Joel Romero, which is a wild mismatch. I don't know what Mike Perry's going to be able to do with dirty boxing, but it'll be interesting to see. I can see them doing Conor and Mike Perry and BKFC, because I don't think Mike Perry's ever going to fight Redneck Mundell, friend of the show. Redneck's been calling for that fight forever. After Redneck first won the middleweight title in BKFC, he was on our show with me, and he called out Mike Perry then. That was over 2 years ago. And Mike Perry's never taken the fight. So I see Mike Perry versus Conor and BKFC with the agreement if Perry beats him, then Conor will do dirty boxing, but then Conor's never going to do the dirty boxing because he's not a part owner. Maybe. I think the most likely scenario is Conor's going to do one of these big boxing things. I would be surprised if he does BKFC, but I think that's the most likely other option for him. I do not think he ever fights in the UFC again. I think the Nate Diaz fight's never going to happen again, not in UFC. I do believe there's been some initial conversation of would Nate do BKFC. I think that's still kind of iffy too.
Okay.
I don't think Cowboy's going to fight Conor in UFC. I don't think that's going to happen. It's crazy that Cowboy's going to do UFC again after so openly using steroids. But he's going back in the testing pool, so he'll be good to go. But I don't know.
Crazy.
Joe, thank you for joining me for our weekend wrestling show so we can make this one happen. We will be back tomorrow to preview Monday Night Raw. We'll be back. Yeah, we'll preview Monday Night Raw. Yeah. As he says, where the money is, that's where Conor's going to go. Yeah, I think he needs a big enough payday to handle some business things and handle some personal things. But I just don't. When you've made that much money, I don't know how you get motivated. I just don't know how you do it. Especially for a guy who's changed a lot with that money. So there's a bigger business around the brand that is Conor McGregor and the name that is Conor McGregor and the look that is Conor McGregor than there was when Conor McGregor was hungry and was trying to fight multiple times a year to be the guy. And I also think every combat sport that Conor could have been competitive in previously has evolved since he was last competitive. And I don't think Conor's evolved as a fighter. It's not the same world. It's just not. And I don't think Conor wants his face getting all cut up and bare knuckle.
I can see that.
I got a lot of grief from fans about a year and a half ago. Whenever I said I didn't think Conor McGregor was going to fight in the UFC again, that I thought Conor was more of an influencer than he was a fighter. And everyone took it as like I was saying that as a negative. I don't mean that negatively. I just think he makes more money as an influencer and a spokesperson for these brands that attach to him than he ever made fighting. The alcohols, which I think there's a lot of different things going on with those now, but the beers and the whiskeys and all these different things that now are connected to him brought him more revenue than getting punched in the head ever did. Yeah, whenever I found out the most I was going to make fighting, and if I made it to the UFC, whenever I was fighting, I was really chasing that thing. And I found out that Frankie Edgar, who was my cousin's college roommate, at the time was getting 8 to show, 8 to win. So he was getting $8,000 to show up, and he was getting $8,000 if he won. So that was $16,000 maximum he could make off of the fight, pre-tax. Lucky to fight 3 times a year. That's $54,000.
Yeah.
Pre-tax. That's not counting the expense of training, all these different things. Yeah, sponsorships can bring in more money. Absolutely. But at that time, I went, that's not enough money for me to do this, comparatively to what I was making. And then you look at someone like Conor, who all his businesses bring him in way more than fighting ever did. How do you motivate yourself to do that? I don't know how you do it. If you can wake up in the morning, answer some emails, make some phone calls, and make more money than you make cutting weight and getting punched in the head, why would you get punched in the head? Why would you cut weight?
The same reason why Ric Flair would do it, for the love of the business.
Man. And that's different, though. Ric Flair's brainwashed himself into believing the gimmick. I believe it was Marvin Hagler said, you know how You realize how hard it is to wake up at 4 in the morning and go jogging in the cold when you're sleeping in silk sheets? I'd imagine it's pretty hard.
It is. Everything is pretty.
Joe, you got any last word before we sign off this Sunday?
Yes, I do. I'm going to say this right now. Besides tomorrow being the big day for Netflix, tomorrow's also going to be a sad day as well.
Come on.
It starts the tour for John Cena.
Oh, yeah. Farewell tour for John Cena. If he's coming to your town, go see him. It's going to be your last chance.
And I'm going to say that's going to be like a really sad moment. Even the average person would say they'll probably cry on the last day because that's a sad moment.
Yeah. It's your last time to be in the arena and hear the trumpets.
So, John, if you got any fun John Cena moments, you better get it all ready and just say it could be.
I'll tell you right now what it's going to be. It's going to be when John Cena wins the Rumble this year and goes on to WrestleMania to beat Cody Rhodes.
I think something different. I think he's gonna win the Chamber. It's like they got advertised for the Chamber a lot. I think he'll win the Chamber.
He could. Thank you, everyone, for checking us out live on Instagram. We appreciate you being here. Biscuit, the Slap Happy Hippie. Go make sure you follow him on Instagram so you can know when his next fights are coming up in Slap Fight Championships. We will be back tomorrow. We're going to talk about Raw's debut on Netflix. All the rumors, all the surprises we think we'll see. We'll make some predictions. We'll make some predictions for the rest of the week of pro wrestling. One thing I do want to share with everyone. This past week we had AEW Dynamite debuting its simulcast, be on TBS and Max streaming. And I believe the number reported by Forbes or by Pro Wrestling Torch was that it was 1.7 million people had watched AEW Dynamite this past week from TBS and Max.
Damn.
So,
I got nothing to do
just
with
a
it, John.
quick message. We got to come in. All the fans out there who are quick to hop on wrestling pages and comment sections to talk about how much they know AEW is not a profitable business. Because Eric Bischoff and Bubba Ray Dudley have told you that, I want you to know that you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You don't know shit about how that business operates. Just like those guys don't, nor do I. I can tell you that if 1.4 or 1.7 million people view your product's probably doing okay. Probably doing okay. There are many TV shows, many programs, many forms of media that would kill to have 1.4 million sets of eyeballs view their product. And if you think that's a bad number, you're confused. Possibly conflicted. I don't know. But the most important thing is it's a great time to be a pro wrestler. Doesn't matter what you like. There's something on every program for everyone. So just tune in. Check them out. And if you want to hear recaps and opinions of two goofballs who have loved pro wrestling their entire lives, check out Don't Say the F Word. We're Pro Wrestling Combat Sports Podcast. We do not use the F word when we talk about professional wrestling. Don't let your friends use it either. We'll be back tomorrow. Make sure you follow us on Instagram so you know when we go live. And it's the best option because sometimes I forget to upload this shit to YouTube and Spotify. We're out.